very good evening to you and welcome to Global News today. To begin, let's take a look at the headlines. Diri appeals to Ijos in diaspora to invest in Bayelsa. EFCC boss urges Nigerians to shun corruption in 2025. Federal government to unveil National Values Charter first quarter 2025. Tinubu vows to bring food, drug prices down. Saudi Arabia executes 6 Iranians for drug trafficking. Premier League January transfer window opens. Wizkid, Ira ranked among world's top artists. According to analysts, the incumbent governor of Rivers State will not obey the courts because their orders are not in his favor and will rather run an autocratic government. While speaking on Atlantic television program Open Conversation, Zinami Iwariso, a legal consultant, has called the actions of the governor autocratic and a sham.
This is what the court has said. It is spoken in simple and correct English. There is no Spanish, there is no Yoruba, there is no Ejo, there is no whatever language that is there. For everyone to understand, well stated, clearly spoken. You know, so we do not need to go here. Oh, let me tell you something. Let us face the fact here. Governor Sim is not ready to listen to the court. I've said it earlier and I'm saying it again. He will not listen to the court. As far as it is not in his favor, he will not listen. He will not obey. He's now running a government of one man. That is autocracy. Whatever he decides happen. So we do not need to start going to say what is happening is a sham. We know it. A 3-man assembly. Where does that happen? A purported speaker, purported leader, and a purported chief whip. Who again is there? It's 3-man now. It's 3-man.
While speaking more on the topic, the analysts say the foundation has been laid by the Court of Appeal. Therefore, according to the Constitution and Court's order, the 3-man committee led by Okojumbo is illegitimate.
To build another foundation. A foundation has been laid by the Court of Appeal judgment. And even in the Court of Appeal judgment, they have said that 3-man committee, 3-man or 4-man committee cannot. The court has stated it. Who are we to come? Whatever the court stated was from the Constitution. Who are we to come and now start to saying that we want to build another foundation, build another theory? No. Whether legitimate or illegitimate, the court has spoken. Who made them illegitimate? The issue of legitimacy or not is in the Federal High Court, and he has stated that year that judgment will come up on the 25th of January.
This comes at the heels of Rivers State House of Assembly members, led by Martin Amewole, strongly condemned the state's governor, Siminalayi Fubara's presentation of the 2025 appropriation bill to 3 members of the House, led by Victor Okojumbo. Bayelsa State Governor Senator Dwoye Diri has appealed to Ijaw individuals, businessmen and women in the diaspora to join hands in the government in developing their ancestral homeland, the only homogeneous state of ethnic nationality. Diri appealed in his New Year message on Wednesday, assuring that his administration will redouble its efforts to attract investments from both international and domestic sources. The governor said the state government was looking forward to opportunities to collaborate with Bayelsans and Ijaw investors both at home and abroad to unlock the vast estate's economic and other potential, according to him. Bayelsa State remained the most secure and hospitable environment for professionals and entrepreneurs. The governor stressed that considerable strides have been made to give an enduring facelift to Yanagua, the state capital, with the construction and rehabilitation of access roads, as well as several internal roads, which had improved connectivity and accessibility. He said in line with his administration's rebranded Assured Prosperity agenda, the state government was taking on additional signature projects across various sectors as it looked prepared to launch prosperity estates. Diri explained that the project is a groundbreaking housing scheme that will bring 1,000 affordable homes to our state capital and local government areas. On the issue of power, he explained that the government was working towards ensuring a sustainable and independent power supply with the procurement and eventual installation of a 60 megawatts gas turbine during the course of the year. He expressed appreciation to the people of the state for their patience during the 4 months of power outage. Cross River State Governor Basio too has urged Nigerians, particularly those residing in Cross River State, to welcome the year 2025 with optimism. In a New Year message made public in a press statement by his Chief Press Secretary Nsa Gill on Wednesday, Otu urged all Nigerians to embrace this New Year with hope. He said the Cross River State government has laid crucial foundations for prosperity and economic rebirth, with different programs and policies spread across sectors such as agriculture, industries, and investment drives that will bring about growth and progress in the state. The governor maintained the importance of looking towards the future with a positive mindset while adding that it is a driving force to bring about growth and progress in the nation. Speaking of the vast natural resources, the diverse culture and resilient spirit of Nigerians and people in the state, the governor reiterated that it was important for everyone to be encouraged to tap into the potential and programs of Cross River State government to work towards a brighter and more prosperous future for the state and the nation. The governor also stressed the importance of unity and collaboration in achieving goals, stressing that it was only through collective efforts that progress could be made and the residents could overcome challenges. Delta State government has assured residents that they can expect more democracy dividends in 2025. The government noted that it would not only intensify its commitment to improving the lives and living standards of Deltans, but also continue its efforts to enhance the state by delivering impactful, enduring projects across the 3 senatorial districts, bringing more joy and positivity to local communities. This was conveyed in a New Year message signed by the State Commissioner for Information, Dr. Ifeanyi Oswoza, copies of which were made available to journalists in Warri on Wednesday. The governor called on all Deltans and residents not only to expect more from the MORE agenda, but also to continue supporting the administration by embracing unity and harmonious coexistence as the state confidently enters the new year. Abia State Governor Alex Otti has stopped all forms of payments in public primary and secondary schools in the state, including Parents Teachers Association levies. This is even as the law mandating all children of school age to be in school every school day has come into effect from January 1st, 2025. These were contained in a New Year broadcast the governor made to the Abia people on Wednesday. According to OT, as soon as the new school term begins later in the month, it will be unlawful to find any child outside the walls of the classroom during school hours. He disclosed that an impressed accounts system for the running of schools has been introduced for head teachers and school principals to manage the day-to-day operations of their schools, warning that no child should be extorted or denied opportunities to education. He reiterated that retired workers in the state would always be paid their monthly pensions first before any serving office holder is allowed to receive his or her salary. No fewer than 3 persons sustained varying degrees of injury on Tuesday night in a collision involving a trailer, a Toyota Camry, and a Lexus car on the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. The unit's commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Mr. William Manga, confirmed the incident in an interview with a newsman in Badagry on Wednesday. He said 5 persons were involved in the accident, but 3 of them sustained varying degrees of injury. The commander added that the injured persons were taken to the Lagos State Mobile Clinic for treatment. The accident was due to loss of control and lack of concentration while on the expressway. According to Manga, he said the 3 vehicles involved in the accident had been removed from the expressway. The FRSC unit commander drivers against speeding, urging motorists plying the road to also be conscious of their speed on the 1-lane expressway. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has promised that his administration will continue to foster an economy that promotes growth, equity and resilience through sustainable development plans. The governor also admonished the people of the state to set aside their differences and continue to coexist with one another for the peace and development of the state and the country at large. Abiodun stated these on Wednesday in his New Year address. The governor stressed the need for the people to come together in the new year with renewed vigor and work for the good of society. He said his administration has made a positive, inclusive and lasting impact on the lives of the people through the construction of roads, provision of affordable housing, human capital development, youth and women empowerment, qualitative health care and food security. He maintained that the ISEYA mantra, acting as the compass of his administration's developmental drive, has helped to enhance speedy growth in all sectors. Abiodun acknowledged that there is still more to be done, adding that the government will continue to address issues that affect the people, such as economic realities, unemployment, and inadequate social amenities, while pledging to remain focused, deliberate, committed, and inclusive by keeping his promises and sustaining the implementation of the ISEYA mantra. The state helmsman emphasized that his government in the new year would continue to work tirelessly to ensure that every citizen has the opportunity to succeed, regardless of their background or circumstances. Governor Ademola Adeleke has promised a renewed focus on soft infrastructure in the 2025 fiscal year after relentless 2 years of infrastructural upgrades in the state. Governor Adeleke made this known in this New Year address to the people of Osun State residents on Wednesday. The governor, who recalled the many advances of his administration across various sectors, noted that the new year will witness both new initiatives and the continuation of existing social programs designed to cushion the effects of hard times on the people of the state, while assuring the completion of all ongoing projects and new ones listed in the 2025 budget. Governor Adeleke emphasized that his only motivation will continue to be the well-being of the good people of Osun State, promising to remain as deaf as before, a responsive, listening and compassionate governor. The governor, who further extended an olive branch to members of opposition parties, affirmed that he has kept faith with his pledge for transparency and accountability in state governance. He noted that in the last 1 year, they received and processed several requests for information based on the Freedom of Information Act. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has said his government will do more for the people of the state in 2025. Makinde, in a statement by Special Advisor on Media Suleiman Olariwaju in Ibadan, the state capital, on Wednesday, said his administration would embark on decisive actions that would increase the state's residents' spending powers and ease the economic strains they are facing. The governor, while speaking on his New Year message aired on the state-owned Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State during the crossover service held at the Living Spring Chapel International on Tuesday night, said he will remain focused and ensure that residents of the state get value for the mandate given to him. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has approved 8 billion naira for the payment of outstanding pensions and gratuities owed to retired primary school teachers and other civil servants in the state. The governor announced the approval on Wednesday at the council chamber of the government house in Maiduguri, stating that the 8 billion naira would cover liabilities accrued from 2019 to 2021. It may be recalled that in June and September 2019, the governor released 3 billion naira to clear gratuities for 1,684 retirees who left the civil service between 2013 and 2019. Additionally, over 12 billion naira was disbursed in 2020 to retirees who left both the state and capital government service between 2013 and 2017. Meanwhile, Zulum assured that his administration will settle all outstanding gratuities and pensions before the end of his tenure in 2027. He said, "Inshallah, I will clear all the backlog of gratuities before I leave office in 2027. Bauchi State Government, through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, has celebrated the New Year with donations of items to inmates at correctional facilities in the state. Speaking during the presentation of Wednesday, the State Governor Bala Muhammad, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Aminu Hamayo, noted that every year comes with its challenges. He says there are more demands for an individual's ability and that to persevere, be patient and commitment are the things that go with prayers to be able to overcome them. On our part, the State Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Hajira Wanka, stated that the governor mandated the ministry to have the New Year lunch with the inmates to have a sense of belonging. She said from the looks on their faces, it seems the mission is accomplished and we are hoping that they will be changed people. Also speaking, the controller at Nigerian Correctional Service, Bauchi, Mohammed Isa, described the gesture as the second of its kind in the state. He thanked the governor and the commissioner for humanitarian affairs and disaster management for finding it necessary to spend time with the inmates. Operatives of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command recovered a total of 409,992,000 from criminals among various operations in 2024. A breakdown of the recovered sum, according to Command's scorecard, made available to journalists on Wednesday by the Command's spokesperson, Josephine Ade, revealed that 36,850,000 was recovered from kidnapping suspects. 68,554,000 from armed robbery suspects, 19,590,000 from burglary cases, and 285 million from fraud cases. Also in 2024, Ade stated that a total of 1,426 cases were reported, leading to the arrest of 1,077 suspects. According to the scorecard, fraud cases were the most reported, with 385 cases and 422 suspected arrested. This was followed by armed robbery with 268 cases and 132 suspected arrested. Car thefts came next with 127 cases and 64 suspects arrested, while kidnapping completed the top 5 with 104 cases, resulting in the arrest of 216 suspects. The report also disclosed that 376 firearms, including 13 AK-47 magazines and 187 rounds of live ammunition, were recovered. Minister of the Nigerian Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has assured the residents that the administration remains steadfast in its determination to transform the nation's capital into one of the best capital territories in the world. Wike stated this in his New Year message to the residents in a statement he personally signed and made available to journalists in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. The minister said all these collective dreams of a thriving and prosperous FCT can only be achieved by supporting His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and working together in unity and cooperation. The minister also expressed his heartfelt gratitude to the residents for cooperating with the administration in implementing its policies and programs. He noted that the support and understanding have driven the administration's vision for a better FCT. He commended the commitment of the residents towards a peaceful coexistence and care for each other throughout the past year. He explained that these accomplishments demonstrate the collective effort and commitment to building a prosperous, unified, progressive FCT. The minister urged residents of the FCT to also recognize that sustainable development requires the active participation of all residents. He urged them to meet their civic obligations by paying taxes, dues, and levies as applicable, as these are essential for generating the revenue needed to fund developmental projects. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State, in the wake of poverty, hunger and starvation that characterized 2024, commended the resilience and patience of his state residents in navigating the challenges of the year. The governor, in his New Year message, assured his unwavering commitment to delivering meaningful progress and development by removing the people from the shackles of poverty and devastating hunger in the year 2025. He extended warm and heartfelt New Year greetings to the people of the state, within and outside the state, including those in the diaspora, expressing optimism for a better and more prosperous year ahead. The governor's position was contained in a statement issued by spokesperson Sunusi Bature Dawakin Tofa on Wednesday. He noted that his administration had made a significant effort to ensure the timely approval of the 2025 budget, describing it as a critical step toward accelerating development across the state. As Nigerians join the world in celebrating the dawn of 2025, Kebbi State Governor Dr. Nasir Gwandu has emphasized the importance of peace, unity, and harmonious coexistence for the country's collective progress. In his New Year message to the people of Kebbi State, the governor urged citizens to embrace peace and mutual respect, regardless of ethnic, religious, or cultural differences. He highlighted that Nigeria's diversity is a strength meant to foster unity, not division. Governor Idris stated, "God has created us with various backgrounds to bring us closer together as a united people. Let us use our differences as a source of strength and unity." Idris has assured the people of Kebbi State that in 2025, his administration will bring increased development and empowerment initiatives aimed at improving livelihoods across the state. Gombe State Governor Muhammadu Yahaya has stressed the importance of resilience and collective effort in building a state and nation characterized by peace, abundant opportunities, and an improved quality of life for all. In his New Year message on Wednesday, the governor called on the people to reflect on the lessons of the past year and embrace 2025 with steadfastness, hope, and optimism. He expressed confidence that 2025 would usher in brighter days for both the state and Nigeria as a whole. The governor, who is also the chairman of Northern States Governors Forum, noted the importance of unity and peace in achieving sustainable development and a prosperous future. Acknowledging the resilience and perseverance of the people of the state in navigating the socio-economic challenges of recent years, Yahaya urged citizens to maintain hope and indomitable spirit. Yobe State Police Command said it has succeeded in prosecuting 454 criminal cases in 2024 while probing 116 cases more. The command's public relations officer DSP Dungus Abdul Karim revealed this in a statement issued on Wednesday, highlighting the command's significant milestone in its fight against crime in the state in 2024. According to him, the command had adopted new strategies aimed at protecting vulnerable groups from harm, resulting in a decrease in sexual-related offenses. Similarly, 17 cases of unnatural offenses were recorded and are being thoroughly investigated and prosecuted, Abdul Karim added. The command, through the PPRO, reiterated its commitment in ensuring the safety and security of all residents across the state, noting that this commitment is reflected in the command's efforts to sustain its successes and build on its achievement in 2025. No fewer than 6 passengers have been abducted as armed bandits attacked travelers on the Shinkafi Road near Kwanar Jalaf village under the Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara state. The incident happened on Tuesday morning when the assailants abducted 6 passengers traveling in a golf car and set the vehicle ablaze, further heightening fears among residents and commuters in the area. The attack comes barely a week after notorious bandits leader Bello Toji issued threats to unleash violence on innocent citizens in Shinkafi and Zomi communities in Zamfara state, as well as Isa and other local communities in Sokoto state in the new year 2025. Residents of the area told newsmen that the armed men blocked the road, forcing the vehicle to stop before carrying out the abductions and touching the car. Residents of Shinkafi and other areas threatened by the terrorist kingpin have expressed growing concerns over the threat and are calling on the government to take decisive action against the escalating activities of bandits groups in the region. You're watching the Global News in Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break. To stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. And now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu says his government will unveil the National Values Charter already approved by the Federal Executive Council in the first quarter of 2025. The president said this in his New Year message to Nigerians on Wednesday. According to him, the charter will promote mutual commitments between the government and citizens and foster trust and cooperation among a diverse population and between the government and the citizens. He also urged governors and local council chairpersons to work closely with the central government to seize emerging opportunities in agriculture, livestock and tax reforms and move the nation forward. Tinubu urged Nigerians to become better citizens and uncompromising in their devotion and allegiance to the country to achieve national goals and objectives. He said citizens' moral rectitude and faith in the country were fundamental to the success of the renewed hope agenda. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, has reiterated the 10th House Representatives is poised to work tirelessly to address the pressing issues that affect Nigerians, from economic development and job creation to health care, education and national security. Honorable Kalu, who gave the assurance via a congratulatory message to commemorate the New Year's Day, January 1st, 2025, tasked Nigerians on hope renewal and optimism for a brighter future. While reflecting on the significant progress made in the outgoing year, the lawmaker assured Nigerians that the new year will bring promise and possibility. Honorable Kalu expressed pride in the legislative milestones achieved in the past year, which according to him have laid the groundwork for a brighter future for Nigeria. The Deputy Speaker pledged his commitment to addressing pressing issues in the coming year, including economic development, job creation, healthcare, education and national security, adding that the House has at all times prioritized the passage of critical legislation that promotes good governance, transparency and accountability. The Deputy Speaker reassured Nigerians that their voices will continue to be heard in the legislative process and urged citizens to remain hopeful and optimistic about the nation's future. He lauded Nigerians' resilience and determination, stating that together the country can overcome any obstacle and achieve greatness. The Deputy Speaker also urged the people to keep supporting the renewed agenda of President Bola Ahmed Federal government has submitted the necessary documents for the extradition of pro-Biafran agitator Simon Ekpa to Nigeria, according to Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa. Speaking on 2024 Year-in Review program on December 31st, 2024, Musa confirmed that Ekpa, arrested in Finland, is facing legal proceedings related to his alleged terror-related activities. Ekpa, a pro-Biafra agitator and secessionist, was arrested by Finland law enforcement on November 21. General Musa remarked, noting that legal action is being pursued in accordance with the international protocols. Analyst Ambassador Ekiye C. Ekiye, while speaking on ATN blowouts, questioned the affordability of the 2025 National Ministry of Works budget and asked if the funds needed to carry out these projects were available. According to the analyst, his main concern is the feasibility and availability of the need funding.
Is the budget proposal affordable? Can we fund it? But to a very large extent, the budget for Ministry of Works is almost like the national budget for civil constructions, for road, for buildings, anything that has to do with civil. So in other words, it's not just the ministry that is presenting that budget. And of course, Mr. President has presented the holistic budget capturing that of the Ministry of Works and all that. So the focus is that of the Ministry of Works today, right? Mm-hmm. So I have a little bit of worriedness. And that worriedness will also mean what Nigerians will be worrying also about. The amount that is being allocated for most of these projects, will it be visible? We're not trying.
Speaking further on the topic, Ambassador Ekiye asked that due to the current economic situation of the country, the Ministry of Works should ensure that every appropriated resources for said projects be evidential.
Works should ensure that every appropriated resources, because right now as a country, we're going through a whole lot that needs finance. So anyone that is designated to any chunk of the projects, I want to believe that it will be evidential. The result will be there. So I do not want to interfere with the allocated resources, because I'm sure they have consulted engineers, they have done quotations, they have looked at the current prices of materials, or maybe they also shall have also looked at what they're expecting the market ratio for 2025 and then come up with that figures.
This comes as the Federal Ministry of Works budgeted 4 billion naira to construct a presidential helipad and a jetty in Lagos. Our Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has warned Nigerians to desist from corrupt practices this year, 2025, and remain resolute in their fight against corruption. The chairman of the commission, Ola Olukoyede, who gave this warning on Tuesday, said the nation's progress and development depend on collective efforts to combat economic and financial crimes. The EFCC boss in his New Year message to the citizens stressed that rejecting corruption was key to improving the quality of life for all Nigerians and advancing the economy. The Anti-Graft Agency chair urged citizens to seize the opportunities the New Year brings to recommit to values of transparency, accountability and integrity. Olukoyede Nigerians that the EFCC was poised to surpass its achievements in 2024 while promising that the officers will remain relentless in the pursuit of justice. He added that 2025 will be another year of bringing towers of corruption down. Our focus is certain, our commitment is total. Former People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar on Wednesday charged Nigerians to hold political office holders accountable. Atiku urged Nigerians to ensure that no political leader wields power unchecked in the year 2025. In his New Year's message, the former vice president said Nigerians must firmly restrain any attempts by the government to encroach on the fundamental human rights of citizens. According to Atiku, his New Year marks the beginning of a momentous era, one of heightened public awareness and vigilance. Atiku noted that it's time when every Nigerian must closely observe the actions and decisions of our political leaders. He calls on every citizen to remain resolute in holding political leaders at every level of government accountable, noting that they must ensure that no one wields unchecked power that could erode our liberties or exploit public office for personal gain. He urges all Nigerians to actively participate in safeguarding the principles of democracy. Atiku further stated that the vigilance of the citizenry is paramount in ensuring that those in leadership never abuse the power entrusted to them. He added that together, they must firmly restrain any attempts by an overreaching government to encroach on the public good or the fundamental rights. Nigerian Labour Congress has called for the withdrawal of the tax reform bill submitted by President Bola Tinubu to the National Assembly, urging a more inclusive process involving key national stakeholders. The union, in its New Year message to Nigerians on Tuesday, emphasized the need for the government to prioritize citizen welfare and address the rising cost of living in 2025. The NLC President Joe Ajaero described the bills as controversial, particularly in the north regions, where they have been criticized as detrimental to economic growth. He stated that creating a comprehensive national tax policy requires collaboration across all sectors to ensure transparency and account acceptance. It also called for enhanced worker welfare, stating that fulfilling those needs is fundamental to effective governance. Ajaero emphasized the union's commitment to negotiating an upward wage review to address the economic challenges faced by workers. He stressed the need for compliance with the 2024 National Minimum Wage Act and pledged to engage the government in safeguarding workers' welfare through fair wage adjustments. The NLC also criticized the increased use of force in interactions with unions, warning that such actions could disrupt industrial harmony. The National Population Commission has announced the successful registration of over 10 million children aged 0 to 5 years within last 3 months. The chairman of the commission, Alhaji Nasir Kwara, stated this while speaking to journalists after First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu presented a birth certificate to the baby of the year in Asokoro General Hospital, Abuja, on Wednesday. Kwara, who was represented by the Federal Commissioner for Katsina State, Bala Banya, described the registration as a milestone in the country's efforts to establish a robust identity management system. He emphasized the importance of birth registration, noting that it provides a legal identity and affirms the child's status as Nigerian. According to the chairman, registered children are now automatically assigned an NIN at the time of their birth registration, ensuring that inclusion in the national database. The Director General of the Commission, Dr. Osifo Ojogun, stressed that the Commission had concluded plans to establish over 4,000 registration centers throughout the country, bringing registration centers closer to the people. The DG also noted that the Commission was taking advantage of available technology to ensure every child registered has an identity that cannot be duplicated anywhere. And now we move on to business news. President Bola Tinubu said on yesterday that the federal government hopes to bring down the price of food and promotes local manufacturing of essential drugs and other medical supplies through the establishment of a national credit guarantee company in the new year. Tinubu, who disclosed these in his New Year nationwide broadcast to the nation, also asked the states to key into the federal government's compressed national gas program to reduce the cost of transportation for Nigerians. The president equally said the youth confirmed promised in the aftermath of the End Bad Governance protests across the country would begin in the first quarter of 2025 as a testament of his government's commitment to youth inclusiveness and investment as nation builders. This is as the main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, charged the president not to taint the new year with an address that will not provide immediate and concrete steps to reduce the price of fuel and address widespread hunger. Federal government has taken delivery of the first batch of locally assembled compressed natural gas buses, marking the beginning of the deployment for airport shuttle services across Nigeria. This disclosure was made in a statement on Wednesday. The buses produced by Larry Shitu Motors were received at the Murtala Muhammad Airport, Lagos, by officials of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, led by its Managing Director Olubunmi Kuka. Speaking on the unveiling, at Lagos Airport, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Management, Festus Keyamo, said the deployment was in line with the directive of President Bola Tinubu. He said it was part of Nigeria's commitment to reducing carbon emissions and meeting global climate targets. He stated that the newly launched CNG-powered buses from Larry Shitu Motors introduced at the Lagos Airport are environmentally friendly with zero emissions and equipped with accessibility features for individuals with disabilities. The deployment, he noted, aligns with the president's vision of reducing dependence on traditional fossil fuels such as petrol and diesel, while promoting the adoption of CNG as a sustainable energy source for vehicles nationwide. Nigeria withdrew 364.38 billion naira from banks in November 2024 amid cash scarcity witnessed in many parts of the country. The latest data from the Money and Credit Statistics of the Central Bank of Nigeria revealed. CBN also stated that currency outside banks surged to 4.65 trillion naira from 4.29 trillion naira in October, reflecting an 8.5% month-on-month increase. The bank further stated that the total currency in circulation climbed to 4.88 trillion naira in November, up by 328.91 billion naira or 7.2% compared to the previous month. These figures highlighted the continued dominance of cash in the Nigerian economy despite sustained efforts to promote cashless transactions. The November figure of currency outside banks represented a significant 51% year-on-year growth compared to 3.08 trillion naira in November 2023. Over the course of 2024, cash outside banks has shown consistent growth, starting at 3.28 trillion naira in January and speaking in November. In February, the figures rose to 3.41 trillion naira, a 4% increase in January, and further climbed to 3.63 trillion naira in March, reflecting a 6.3% increase. The CBN has further emphasized that all denominations of the naira, including old and redesigned notes, remain legal tender. This clarification came amidst public confusion over the validity of old naira notes. South Korea's exports grew at a faster pace in December, beating market expectations and ended the year with a record performance, trade data showed on Wednesday, though risks looms in the year ahead. Exports by Asia's fourth largest economy rose 6.6% in December from a year earlier, compared with a gain of 1.4% in November and 4.0% forecast in a survey of economists. It was the 15th consecutive month exports grew in annual terms, the fastest increase since September, after 4 straight months of slowing amid worries over U.S. trade policy changes. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has pledged to impose big tariffs on imports from 3 major trading partners, being Mexico, Canada, and China, which are expected to affect South Korean firms running factories in those countries and weigh on global trade. Last year, South Korea's exports rose 8.2%, the fastest in 3 years, after a fall of 7.5% in 2023. Shipments to China, which has been South Korea's biggest export market since 2003, rose 6.6% to $133.0 billion, while U.S.-bound shipments narrowed the gap by rising 10.5% to $127.8 billion. In December, exports to the United States rose 5.5%, the fastest since August, and posted a record monthly value of $11.9 billion. Exports to the European Union jumped 15.1%, extending our gains to a fifth month, while those to China rose 8.6%. You're still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Still ahead. Up next is Business International Tidbits. Beg your pardon. Ivory Coast President Alassane Ouattara said in an end-of-year speech that French forces will withdraw from the West African nation in January, making it the latest country to weaken military ties with the former colonial power. Ouattara said on Tuesday that they can be proud of the army, whose modernization is now effective, noting that it is in this context that they have decided on the concerted and organized withdrawal of French forces from Ivory Coast. He added that the 3rd Bima Marine Infantry Battalion at Port Bert in Abidjan, where French troops are currently stationed, will be handed over to Ivory Coast Armed Forces as of January 2025. France has been preparing for years what it called a reorganization of military relations after the forced departure of its troops from Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, where governments hostile to the ex-colonial ruler have come to power. Last month, within hours of each other, Senegal and Chad announced the departure of French soldiers from the soil. On December 26, France returned a first military base to Chad, the last Sahel nation to host French troops. Ivory Coast remains an important ally of France. About 1,000 French soldiers were deployed to the 43rd Bima to assist in particular with the fight against jihadists who regularly strike the Sahel region as well as the north of some countries along the Gulf of Guinea. Ouattara also said in his year-end speech that the presidential election slated for October 2025 would be peaceful as well as transparent and democratic. In office since 2010, Ouattara has not yet said whether he will seek a fourth term. Beijing on Wednesday dismissed as false the claims that the U.S. Treasury was breached in a major cybersecurity incident, state media reported. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Mo Ning told reporters in Beijing that unfounded accusations are lacking evidence. Mao's comments came in response to reports by U.S.-based New York Times, which alleged that a Chinese state-sponsored hacking group infiltrated the U.S. Treasury Department, gaining unauthorized access to government workstations and unclassified documents. Mao said China has always opposed all forms of hacking attacks, and we are even more opposed to the dissemination of false information targeting China for political purposes. The hackers reportedly used a security key to gain remote access to certain systems. Treasury officials noted that the compromised service had been taken offline, adding that there is no evidence that the Chinese state actor still have access to Treasury information. While China denies involvement in such attacks, this latest breach follows other cyber incidents linked to China, including a breach targeting U.S. telecom networks. China also emphasized its efforts to collaborate with the U.S. on cybersecurity issues. South Korean investigators probing a Jeju air crash which killed 179 people in the worst aviation disaster on its soil said on Wednesday that they will send one of the retrieved black boxes to the United States for analysis. The Boeing 737-800 was carrying 181 people from Thailand to South Korea on Sunday when it issued a Mayday call and barely landed before hitting a barrier and bursting into flames, killing everyone aboard except 2 flight attendants pulled from the burning wreckage. South Korean and U.S. investigators, including from Boeing, have been combined the crash have been combing the crash site in southwestern Muan since the disaster. The South Korea's Deputy Minister for Civil Aviation, Jo Jung-jan, said the damaged flight's data record has been deemed unrecoverable for data extraction domestically. Ju earlier said both of the plane's black boxes were retrieved, and for the cockpit's voice recorder, the initial extraction has already been completed. Saudi Arabia government has executed 6 Iranian sentences for drug trafficking, the official Saudi press agency announced on Wednesday. The Iranians were put to death in Dammam on the kingdoms of Gulf Coast for having clandestinely introduced hashish into Saudi Arabia. The Ministry of Interior said in a statement published by the SPA without specifying the date of the executions. Riyadh has executed 117 people in 2024 for drug trafficking, according to an AFP tally of official figures. In 2023, the authorities in the Gulf monarchy launched a highly publicized anti-drug campaign involving a series of raids and arrests. The execution of traffickers has increased since the end of a moratorium on the use of the death penalty for drug charges 2 years ago. And now we bring you ATN Sports News. Newly appointed Enyimba head coach Emmanuel Amuneke has said it's important to him to overhaul the team's attack. The People's Elephants were held to a nil draw by Bendel Insurance in the Nigerian Premier Football League Match Day 19 fixture in Abara on Tuesday. Enyimba dominated the game but were let down by the poor finishing. The Aba Giants are now winless in the last 10 games across all competitions. Amuneke, who took charge of the two-time Africa champions from Yemi Olariwaju, also last week, said it's important for him to overhaul the team's attack. He noted that the team plays as a unit, but they need better tactical attacking qualities to ensure they score goals consistently. Premier League transfer window open on Wednesday, January 1st, 2025. This will give clubs the chance to improve their squads for the remainder of the 2024-2025 season and beyond. Teams will be able to make signings until the window closes at 11 a.m. on Friday, February 3rd, 2024. The transfer window will also be open to the other divisions in England's Football League system and is the same in France and Germany. However, the winter window opens in January 2nd in Spain and Italy. La Liga's window closes at midnight local time in Spain at 6 p.m. on February 3rd. League One clubs will have one less hour to make their signings when the window closes from February 3rd. By 5 p.m. Business in the Bundesliga will end by 6 p.m. CET and Serie A's window closes 2 hours later. Arsenal have confirmed that Josh Robinson has left the club to join League One side Wigan Athletic on a permanent transfer. This is coming after ahead of Arsenal's Premier League away clash with Brentford on Wednesday evening. Robinson joined Arsenal's academy in March 2016 at the age of 11. He progressed at ill end before signing his first professional contract with the club in July 2023. The 20-year-old has made 65 appearances for Arsenal's under-18 and under-21 sides. The versatile defender was rewarded with first-team involvement, featuring as an unused substitute in 4 of Arsenal's 6 UEFA Champions League phase games this season. That's it on Sports News. Now we bring you entertainment news. Duo of Nigerian singers Wizkid and Ayra Starr have been ranked among the world's top artists of 2024 by charts data. The music monitoring platform released its list of top artists of 2024 on New Year's Eve, with Wizkid and Ayra Starr occupying the 11th and 18th positions, respectively. Another African singer, Tala from South Africa, also made the list at number 12. In the top 10 are South Korean singer Jimin and American songbirds Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter, Beyonce, and rapper Kendrick Lamar. British sensation Charlie XCX, Lady Gaga, Billie Eilish, and Nicki Minaj completes the top 10. Meanwhile, Davido, Wizkid, and Burna Boy have been listed in active world's top 20 music global icons shaping the future. The video appeared at number 3, while Wizkid and Burna Boy took the 6th and 8th spots on the list. And that's the size of our package on the global news for tonight. Before we go, a look at the major stories. We told you that Dewey appeals to Ijaws in diaspora to invest in Bayelsa. We also told you that EFCC boss urges Nigerians to shun corruption in 2025. You also heard that federal government to unveil National Values Charter first quarter 2025. We also told you that Tinubu vows to bring food, drug prices down, and also Saudi Arabia executes 6 Iranians for drug trafficking. You heard that Premier League January transfer windows opens, and then Wizkid Ira ranked amongst world's top artists. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can always follow us on our social media platforms, our Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.